And so there is no reforming this. There is no reforming this.
Wow.
There's
Wow.
no way to reform this. The
So
only thing that you can do is do what we did with the institution of slavery, that's come together as a people and abolish reforming this.
okay, so then
There
let
is
me
no
ask you a
reforming this.
question. Let me ask you a
Yes.
question. So what is your view, your mission, your plan? What are the results of what's going on now and the things that you've
Well,
done?
one of the results was that one of the results was one of the major results was we got rid of Jackie Lacey. And what did that mean? We didn't overwhelmingly endorse George Gascon.
Yeah,
but
because he's in trouble. He's in trouble.
Right.
no, he's not in trouble. He's not in trouble at all. He's in
Yeah,
trouble
he
with the
is.
same. No, he's not. He's in trouble with the same people that I just told you about, the Ku Klux Klan, the police association, the public defenders, the deputy DAs, and the police are the ones that have filed a lawsuit against him. So at the end of the day, what are they mad about? You know what they're mad about? They're mad about the fact that he said no more cash bail. Who gets arrested and stays in jail for 2 years because we can't afford bail, and then the charges are dropped? Black and brown folk.
Right.
Who gets charged? He said that we're no longer going to charge children as adults. Who gets charged as adults? Black and brown folks, not white kids. White kids don't get charged as adults.
Right.
He also said no more excessive sentencing. 97% of all of the Black folk that get arrested, they never go to trial. Whether they're guilty or innocent, they never go to trial. They take a plea bargain, because what happens is the district attorney comes to them and says, if you take a plea, we'll give you 3 years. If you go to trial and you lose, you're going to get 20.
Right.
That's what happens every single day. And so 97% of our people never, ever get a chance to allow a jury to hear them. And then I guess that other 3% who do get a chance, it's an all-white jury, and it's not a good deal.
Right.
And
right,
so,
right.
and so at the end of the day, the same people that are against the district attorney here are the same people that finance that every police officer who has ever killed an unarmed Black person in this city.
Right.
And
Okay.
so so the bottom line is that in terms of the progress that we have made, we made, well, this is the thing. This is the thing. If we haven't made any progress, why do they? The chief of police just yesterday asked me to join him in a press conference. I said, absolutely not.
Wait.
Why did you say
See, when
no?
people do not, why would I join a police chief who number one? Why would I join a police chief who is trying to use me to manage people that he's traumatized? That's crazy. I'm not gonna do that. Go out there and do your job.
Okay,
What was
so
the
then,
reason why
so
he
then,
wanted?
so
What was the reason why he wanted you to I mean,
Because
what was the reason?
because
other than what
wanted
you
me-
said, but yeah.
Yeah, because he wanted me to act as if I'm in solidarity with him. He feels like, and because I've told them over and over, none of these people that don't like Black Lives Matter, that don't have a respect for Black Lives Matter, can put anybody in the street, and they can't take them out of the street. And so because they don't want this pressure, because they want to end this pressure, they seek out the opportunity to look as if they are in solidarity with Black leaders. And you may be in solidarity with Black leaders, but not the ones who are leading the liberation movement, the Black liberation movement.
Okay,
You're not
so
in solidarity with them.
who's leading the
Black Lives Matter and other activists with the same kinds of values are leading the Black liberation movement.
Okay,
It is
so
a coalition of organizations, but at the end of the day in Los Angeles, it's Black Lives. I can name them. But
Name
the
them.
point is,
Who are they? 'Cause
and let me tell you, Community Coalition, Los Angeles Community Action Network. As a matter of fact, they just secured the same group They just secured a verdict in a trial, which is mandating that all of Skid Row, all the unhoused people on Skid Row, that they be housed. See, this is the work that we're doing. You can't do this sitting behind a table or sitting at a desk sending emails. You cannot do this by kissing up with, elected officials. No, you have to get in the street and help them to understand that we're not leaving. Your life is not going to be comfortable. Like we got the street blocked off. This street is completely blocked off. It's not going to be a comfortable situation if you think that you're not going to give us the kind of respect that we desire. And this is what, at the end of the day, this is what we're doing. This is what we're talking about. Nobody is violent. What I said to the chief, he said, I'm going to let you all exercise your First Amendment right. We want peaceful protest. Well, we've never had a protest that wasn't peaceful. That's protest and peaceful. When you say that, that's oxymoronic, because a protest is peaceful.
I just want to,
what they did at Capitol wasn't peaceful. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I just want to let you know we are live on YouTube now.
Oh, okay.
I've got you going on YouTube. And if somebody's looking, that I couldn't get the Intentional Talk Radio Network ID to work for some reason. I have to check on after this. But if people want to get on YouTube, they have to search on KLSTRAT 996 and they will find the video. That's KLSTRAT 996 and they will see the YouTube live.
The live video right now. Wow. Okay. Wow.
So Reverend, with all of the things, tell me what you're doing. And you said Community Coalition. I know who they are. I used to work with them when I was at YOU. And you said the LA Community Action Network.
Los Angeles Community Action Network.
Okay.
It's too many. The UCLA Black Labor Worker Center. I mean, there's all of the Black groups that in Los Angeles are working and connected, and not just Black groups. We got Latinos for Black lives. We got white people for Black lives. We got third world folks for Black lives. Wow. This is a whole collection of people from all walks of life that for the first time in the history of the Black movement, they have said, we are centering y'all. Y'all gonna take the reins of this movement. We're not trying to instruct you on what to do and how to do. We're taking orders from y'all. That's what's been going on. And at the end of the day, it's a beautiful thing. And people do not understand it because we don't have to take down. We don't have to be politically correct. We don't have to abide by any kind of spectrum of white acceptability. That's not what we're doing.
Let me ask you a question. You're not doing anything white acceptability, white anything. You don't want white folks around. I got you. I feel the exact same way.
I didn't say I didn't want them around. I didn't say I didn't want them around.
But you're not saying
what I'm saying is that we don't change our message.
Okay, and you shouldn't. And absolutely not.
You're not sugarcoating because they're there.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But you got white women who are your security. You put white folks out front.
Absolutely.
But I'm trying to figure out.
No, because you don't understand.
No, I don't. I don't understand.
Well, exactly.
Tell me what it is.
So why do you think, as I said, why do you think we could be outside? We're not stupid. See, one of the things that we have understood is we understand the power of allies. The work that they do. See, one of the reasons that we have white folks who participate. White folks.
You say that again?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
My earphones may have gone out.
Okay, we can hear you.
Just repeat what you just
said.
Hold
on. Okay. Can you hear me? I got to charge.
Yes.
Just repeat that last piece that you just said.
I said, we understand the power of allies. And so white folks don't talk to us about what we need to do. Talk to white folks about what y'all need to do. You see what I'm saying? You organize y'all and we'll tell y'all what we need y'all to do. And so we have legal observers. Those people are also legal observers. And so we don't have the kinds of issues that some people out here protesting have because we got a whole bunch of lawyers. We're We're at the ACLU. That's
Okay.
where we are.
Okay. So
You know,
go back over there where the protesters are. I want to see more of that. But I'm still trying to wrap my head around why it's necessary to put white folks out front. I'm sure
I didn't say that it was necessary. What I said was, if you want to put your body on the line because you believe in this cause, then we got to be here and able to organize. We can't be Black folks that's just getting locked up in jail and folks are throwing away the key. And so your responsibility, and a lot of these white folks, when the police have come to try to arrest us, it ain't just white, it's our security too. But the bottom, and I was joking about saying, but the bottom line is that a white woman is a secret weapon. She's a secret weapon. When the military state responds to her. But my point is simply this, is that we have lynching. We have one of our white allies who was charged with lynching because she refused to allow them to beat a 70-something-year-old man. So she got in the way so that he could get away. And she was charged with lynching. And so this is the thing.
With lynching?
You can't get a lot of Black folk to even want to come out, let alone risk their jobs. That's why I love Jeremiah Wright, who says he disavows middle classes. In other words, what he means is that a lot of middle class Black folks are concerned about their job. And so they're not going to do what they consider to be quote unquote radical. This ain't radical. This is righteous. It's not radical at all. This is righteous. And so at the end of the day, that's what this is about. And everybody can be a part if they want to center Black people, whether you white, Black, blue, purple, gay, straight, well, it doesn't matter. If you want to center Black people, you can get involved. You have to figure out how you can best be used. So we also have people who bring food out here, bring water out here, bring all of the necessary, I got my mask. The necessary essentials, and so this is not at all, and that's why when people say, well, the Black Lives Matter message turns white people off. No, it don't. It turns white supremacists off. It don't turn white people off.
So I'm still on the fence and not getting why white folks have to be out front. So let me ask you a question.
I didn't say out front. See,
but they are essentially
what
out
they're
front.
doing.
They're your allies.
No, they're not. No, they're not. No,
they were your allies.
No, they're not. No, they are my allies, but they're not.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. They're your allies.
No.
He said they're not out front.
They're not out front.
What do you mean?
But they're still your allies.
Absolutely, they are.
Okay, white folks are going to be everybody's ally at some point, unfortunately. Okay, but wait a minute. Let me ask you a question.
Who has brought down every radical group in this country? Who's brought them down? It's been Black people. It's been Black people working with the police and the FBI. That's who infiltrate. We got folks right in here, Black folks right in here who are police, who are working with the police. So the bottom line is that this is about people who have a conscience. I know it's difficult for people to accept and to believe that folks would want to center Black people. I know it's difficult, but they know we're not gonna have it any other way. So we don't have willy-nilly folks trying to hang around to act like they're down with us. That's not what we have, because we are very strong. And we're gonna push you out. When we discover you, we're gonna push you out.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Okay, because I'm really trying to wrap my brain around this. I'm much older than you, and I remember a time when never would folks have allies who were considered the devil.
There has always been white people.
So let me ask you a
Jewish
question.
folks marched with King.
Okay, let me ask. Okay, but let me ask you a question.
It was a group of Methodist white ministers. So I can't let you put out a narrative that's not correct.
Let me ask you a question.
It was a group. I'm gonna let you ask the question, but let me just, as you brought up King and you brought up your era. And
no. I said,
and I don't know if we're too far away. I don't know if we're too far away in terms of our era. What I'm telling you is, white people have always been a part of the social justice civil rights movement. It was white Methodist ministers who penned the Ministers' Manifesto that they published in the Atlanta Journal, that gave Martin Luther King the courage and the inspiration to start the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. That's what he said. And most of those white ministers had to do that, pin their signature in the cover of Night, and then had to escape. But I'm not on here to talk about white people. I'm not on here to be apologist for white people. I'm on here for my people. And so this is a distraction. I'm not going to entertain another question about white folks, because white folks understand what their place is with Black Lives Matter. And anybody that knows anything about Black Lives Matter understand that too. And so I'm not going to continue to engage that conversation because it's a distraction.
Well, no, it's not a distraction. It's a conversation, and it's a legitimate question.
It's not a legitimate question because
it is a legitimate question.
No,
it is a legitimate question.
It's not a legitimate question. It's a legitimate agenda that you're trying to push. It's a narrative you're trying to push.
I have no agenda. I have no agenda. I have a radio show. I have no agenda.
I have a radio show. I've told you that white people are not, they are allies to us. Latino people are allies to us. Asian people are allies to us. Jewish people are allies. There's a whole lot of folks that are our allies, but you are focusing on white people.
No, so you got it wrong. No, I'm not focusing
her thing
on
was
white
wondering
people.
about
I'm not.
When you called
no,
them
I'm
security.
No, I'm not.
She was just asking about the two that we showed.
No. So let me ask you a question. Because Black Lives, hold on a second. Let me ask you a question. What is Black Lives Matter in this instance, in this arena, in what's going on now? What is Black Lives Matter doing in Tulsa?
What do you mean Black Lives Matter ain't in Tulsa?
Why not?
Because we're in Los Angeles. We don't see. This is the thing that you see. The thing that you all don't understand is that just because somebody carries a Black Lives Matter banner, let me just be abundantly clear. Black Lives Matter is a bunch of college professors, college students, and community people. And Dr. Melina Abdullah has her doctorate in political science. She studied.
We know that.
No, but she studied under.
We know that.
Under Michael Preston.
We know that.
One of the chief experts in Black politics. So the reality is this: Patrice is a professor. I am a professor. I got my doctorate in public policy for USC. So my question is, why is it difficult for you to wrap your head around a strategy that we have decided to employ? We got Sister Tabitha, who is also a professor. We got Brother Stanley.
What does that have to do with Tulsa? My question. You're not answering my question.
What I'm telling you is, I'm Black Lives Matter LA. I ain't been to Tulsa. I ain't been to Minneapolis. I ain't been to I have been to Ferguson, but not during those times. I've been to Ferguson within the past few weeks because I know a lot of the Ferguson activists. So this whole idea that Black Lives Matter is bouncing all over the globe, that ain't what we're doing. People in the name of Black Lives Matter are deciding to go out and do work. At the end of the day, we don't have more than probably, and I may have the number wrong, but I know we ain't got 15 chapters throughout the world, not throughout the globe.
Okay, so that means you don't have a chapter in Tulsa. So you don't have to be in Tulsa. You don't have to be in Tulsa to have a chapter in Tulsa. But what is Black Lives Matter doing with Tulsa?
We're doing work in LA. What do you mean?
So basically,
you're not understanding. You're not understanding.
So what it sounds like, he's saying the original Black Lives Matter are the folks that he's involved with.
Got it.
So people who are having signs and people who are jumping up here and there claiming Black Lives Matter are not necessarily this organization. So that's
Okay,
what,
so-
that's what he's saying.
so
So whatever
they
happens in
have
So
Tulsa,
back to my
They have
question.
different
So back to my
strategies.
question. Back to my question. So you're not in Tulsa, which means if you're not in Tulsa, you're not involved with Justice for Greenwood, correct?
I'm sure we are.
Well, you just said you're
But
not
that's
in Tulsa.
What I'm telling you is, this is the reality is that Black Lives Matter and the core leadership of Black Lives Matter is all over in terms of conversations where it relates to Black people and injustice for Black
Well,
people.
what do you think? What do you think? What do you think Tulsa
Let me finish
is?
what I'm
What do you
saying.
think Tulsa
And this
is?
is the reason that they were nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize. And so it just amazes me. Why are we having this conversation?
It's a radio show.
What is the point? But what is the point? What is the point of the conversation? What is the point of finding out whether or not we're in Tulsa? What is the point? So if we're not in Tulsa, what does that
Because
mean
wait a
about
minute, hold on a second. Because if you know about Tulsa, if you know about the massacre, if you know about Justice for Greenwood, then you completely understand that Black folks
that
can do any. Wait a minute. Black folks
What are
can
you
do
talking-
any. I'm talking to you.
What are you
Black folks
talking
can
about?
do any and
What are
all
you?
things.
First of all,
How can you
it was
possibly
Black
say
Lives
that?
Matter. First of all, it was Black Lives Matter. It was Black Lives Matter who put reparations on their agenda 8 years ago. Black folks just now catching up. So the bottom line is that there are a whole lot of issues.
Reparations have been on the agenda for decades. That ain't new.
Not with most Black folks.
That's not new.
Not with most Black folks. That's not true. I teach it
That
every
is
day, all
not
day.
maybe you do, but
No,
listen.
what I'm telling you
reparations is not new.
reparations. I didn't say that it was new.
You said Black folks are just now getting it.
What
That means
I-
it's
That's
new.
not what I said.
was
What
that
I
Black
said
Lives
that
Matter
just
put it
like
on
Black
the-
Lives Matter, I said Black Lives Matter made it the central part of their agenda. The
And if
agenda
that is the case,
people say-
what do you think is happening in Justice for Greenwood? What do you think that's about? I guess you don't know.
What do you mean I don't know about what's happening with Justice for Greenwood?
Do you?
What I'm telling you is this. Black Lives Matter is an organization that centers Black people and state-sanctioned violence against our people. That is our primary work. We function based upon what the people that's up there talking now, those are the loved ones and the people of the people whose lives have been stolen by police. So when we decided to organize a campaign against Jackie Lacey, it was Waukesha Wilson's niece who said that's what we needed to do. And so that's how we roll. And so the bottom line is that this ain't I hate to say it, and I'm not trying to, this is not your typical, we're not typical civil rights folks where we run to wherever there's an issue. We don't do that. Nobody's trying to be a celebrity. No, that's not the point. The point is we are making strategic moves that are making a difference. That's the point.
So if that's the case, then why is the country up in arms about Patrisse Cullors?
The country is not up in arms.
Yeah, they are.
No, they're not. No, they're not.
Yeah, they are.
No, they're not.
I'm sorry. You're right. I'm wrong. Black folks. Black folks.
No.
Black folks.
Black folks ain't up in arms about Patrisse Cullors.
They are.
First of all, that article was written by the New York Post, which is a right-wing, white supremacist newspaper. The New York Post, not the New York Times. Secondly, Patrisse Cullors has released all documentation. Black Lives Matter has released all of our financials. Patrisse Cullors has never taken a salary from Black Lives Matter. Patrisse Cullors has gotten.
She said she took a salary of $191,000.
No, she did. No, she did.
Well, she said she did.
No, she did.
She did. I read it myself. Yes, she did.
I don't care what you heard.
I didn't say I heard. I said I read it.
Just because you read something don't mean it's the truth. It was $120,000.
Oh, but she did take a salary. It wasn't $191,000. It was $121,000.
She had $120,000 over 8 years. That's all she got from Black Lives Matter.
That's not the article. No, she didn't.
You don't know what you're talking about.
And I can't say
You do
that
not know. You do not know. You're
No,
using
I can't
white.
say you know. No, I'm
You're
going based
using
on what I
white-
read.
You are using white, Republican, white supremacist talking points.
But
because
you're
you
using
have an
white
angst
folks right now
against Black
today.
Lives
You're
Matter.
using
You have
white
an
folks
angst.
today.
You have an angst against Black Lives Matter, and you
No,
look crazy.
I don't.
I'm just telling you. You do.
Okay,
You look. You sound crazy.
Let's hone it. Let's hone it.
Excuse me.
Let's hone it. Let's
Excuse me.
hone
You do.
it. folks.
No,
Let's
no,
hone
no,
it.
You
no, no.
sound
Hold on.
crazy.
Okay,
Why are
but
you?
you know what?
No, the reason we're not
James,
going to
you
tone it down,
sound
the reason,
crazy.
because I'm tired of Black
James.
folks like you. I'm tired
Okay.
of Black folks like you.
Oh,
Stop
James,
trying
James,
to
James,
demonize.
James,
No, ain't
I
no
understand.
James, nothing.
I understand
Don't
Hold on,
wholeheartedly.
hold on,
I
hold on.
understand wholeheartedly.
Hold on,
I
hold on,
understand
hold on,
wholeheartedly.
hold on,
I
folks.
completely
it.
understand
Stop
wholeheartedly.
demonizing Black
James,
people.
Okay,
James,
guess
Stop
what?
it.
Okay,
You know
hold
nothing
on.
about
James,
Caprice colors.
hold
Wait,
You
on.
know
wait,
nothing
wait.
about
No,
that
no, no,
woman.
no, no.
She has a
Excuse me.
bestseller book. She has a
Excuse me.
bestseller book. And even if she was getting $1 million a year, she deserves it for the work that she put in. Who are you to say what she ought to get paid? Who are
And
you?
who are you to tell me what I can't say? This is my radio
tell you
show,
what you
not
couldn't say.
yours.
I didn't
Bye,
tell you what you couldn't say.
bye,
Okay.
I didn't
James.
tell you what you
Bye.
couldn't say.
Hold
Bye.
I didn't tell you what you're
Bye,
not gonna say
James.
to
Stop, wait, stop, everybody.
No.
I can tell
We
you
can
what
No.
you're not
agree
gonna
to
say to me.
disagree.
James,
We can
no,
agree
we're
to
not going to do
disagree.
this.
I can
We are
tell
not
you.
going to
No,
do
you
this.
thought you
We
were
are
going
not
to get
going
a
to do
gotcha
this.
moment.
We are not
You
going to
thought
do
you were
this
going to get a
because
gotcha moment. I'm
everything
not
that you
letting
have said,
I'm not
everything
letting
that
you
you have said, you've contradicted everything that you said. We wanted to
Look,
have an
people
intelligent
will get a chance to
conversation with
see
you.
this.
That
People will-
doesn't happen.
people will
This
get-
is the second
people
time
will
that we've
get-
tried to have an intelligent conversation with you, and
because
it
you're
doesn't
not
happen.
going to.
It doesn't
You're
happen.
not going to be.
You're
a
not
white
going to be able to
supremacist
tell the
black
truth.
face.
You're
James,
not going to be able to tell the
Colette,
truth.
James,
You're not
stop,
going to be a
stop,
white
stop,
supremacist
stop,
black
stop, stop.
face. I'm sorry. I'm not going to let you
James,
get away with that.
James, hold on. Colette, hold on. Again, we can agree to disagree. Okay? We can agree to disagree.
Don't disparage somebody out here. Don't disparage somebody's character who's out here putting the work in, and all you doing is talking on the radio. Don't do that.
And all I'm doing, you don't know what else I'm doing. You
Okay,
don't
so
know
again-
what I
so
am
again-
doing.
so
You
again,
have
folks,
no clue.
Don't do
You
that.
have
Okay,
no
I
clue.
don't care
So
what
you
you're
don't
doing.
need to say that. And one thing's for
I don't
sure,
care. I said
I
it.
don't have
You
folks
didn't. You
looking
shouldn't
at
have said
me
what you said about Patrice.
calling me a
You
liar
shouldn't have
and a
said what you
fraud.
said about
I don't
Patrice.
have that.
The bottom
I
line
don't
is
have
you should
anybody
not have
looking at me
said
calling
what
me a
you
liar
said.
and a
You
fraud.
guys,
You
James,
should not have
Colette.
said what you said about
James,
Patrice.
James, I can say whatever I want to say, and I'm not
Not to me, you
disparaging
don't.
her.
Well,
Well,
tell-
guess
you
what?
guys, you
I'm
guys.
going to
Tell her
say
that.
whatever I want to say.
Tell her
Then,
that.
James, you don't have
Tell
to
her
be on
that.
this network.
Tell her that.
You,
Okay,
You
I
tell
sure
her that.
will.
Hold on.
I
You
sure
tell
will.
her that.
Colette,
Absolutely.
James, Colette,
You
James,
tell her
stop,
that.
James, Colette, stop. Okay? What she said is what she read. We understand that everything that we read and everything that's on social media and everything that the newscasters are saying may not necessarily be true. Okay, so that's your point to her. Her point to you is what she read is what she read, and so she has opinion about what she read.
And I don't have a
point, and at this point, James, at this point, we are going to agree to disagree.
Well, I just want to add this. I'm not upset about what she read or what she believed. My issue was, it's hundreds of people out here at the Black Lives Matter rally. And
Let's see them. Show us.
There's hundreds of people
Turn the
out here.
camera around.
Okay, hold on, Colette. Hold on, please.
You saw I'm not here to prove anything to you. I'm not here to
I
prove.
didn't say prove it. We're on YouTube.
We're
here.
live on YouTube.
This
now.
is live on YouTube.
So when you
So
walk
turn
in
the
over
camera
there-
around.
Let me
when
finish
you
my
walk
the
point.
camera
This is
around.
my point. This is my point. The person where that story originated, the white supremacist firm that put that lie out about Patrice, has now received a cease and desist letter from her attorneys. And so at the end of the day, if it's the truth, the thing that people can do to Black people is they can always say somebody got some money. See, the difference between Patrice and me is, I'm a pastor. And I understand that no one outside of the local church has anything to say about how the resources that they put in the coffers are used, except the people who are members of the church. See, Black Lives Matter ain't learned that. They haven't learned. Just like a sorority. Does anybody come and tell the Deltas how they need to use their money?
No.
What they need to do, and how
It's
much
not
they
a
need to
Delta,
pay their
no.
president, and how much they need to pay their president?
No.
Do anybody? No, they don't have anything to say. The reality is that this woman she is an elite organizer. This woman has been doing this since forever, and she doesn't do it just because she woke up one morning. She grew up in a household. And that's what makes me upset about this. This woman grew up in a very abusive household, and she has taken that anger and turned it into something positive, turned it into something good, and fought for people.
And there are thousands of women who have done the same thing.
She was doing that before.
Thousands of women who have done the same thing. She is 37 years old. Thousands of women have done it.
But we're only talking about her at this point.
That sounds like hate
people have done that. And I get that as you're walking closer to the rally. I get that. And again, folks, we can agree to disagree. But at this point, Colette, we were only talking about Patrice. Of course, we know thousands of women and men have done wonderful work with everything. But at this point, I want to make 2 points. We were talking about Patrice. He's already kind of closed that piece. And also Black Lives Matter LA, the actual core program where it was invented, for lack of better words, is not one that goes to different cities to rally against whomever. Now, if there's someone in Tulsa who believes in Black Lives Matter and is out there with a sign, because anybody can carry a sign and anybody can be like, this is what we believe should happen in Oklahoma. Excuse me, this is what we believe that can happen in Wisconsin or Milwaukee or St. Louis or Florida, all these different places. But from what I could hear is that this particular movement of Black Lives Matter, this is the core movement of Black Lives Matter. And so what they are dealing with are issues here in the Los Angeles area. So it's not about having chapters. Now, there may be people who are claiming to be a chapter in DC, in Chicago, in Dallas, in Atlanta, and that's fine. But from what I understand from this conversation, the core movement that is Black Lives Matter here in Los Angeles, which is made up of professors from various schools or whatever the case may be, their goal is here in Los Angeles County. So that's just the point I wanted to make sure that the listeners understood. It is not about flying out and going different places. However, there are some that do fly out. Omar.
And when they ask us to, we do. I just met with the Ferguson activists. So when they ask us to, we do. It's so funny that this whole narrative, when I flew out and spoke to the Ferguson activists, they're like, we want to partner with y'all. So if Black people, and that's what triggered me, why do Black people? And what I'm saying is no, not Black people. There are some Black people, but what is with making this seem as if Black people don't have no faith or confidence in Patrisse Cullors? Now, I met Patrisse a couple of times. I don't even know her personally. I don't even know her. She probably wouldn't even know my name. She's probably seen my face. And if Melina has talked about me, she knows who I am. But she's not a personal. Now, Melina is a personal friend of mine. That is my sister. But what I'm saying is that I'm tired of what I believe to be people's unwillingness to accept Black female leadership. I'm tired of it, and I clap back hard. Why can't she? Ain't nobody complaining about the money that any of these men get. Ain't nobody complaining about the money that they get. So the reality is this. They put out their financials. She said that that's basically $20,000 over $20,000 a year. At the end of the day,
that's not what she said.
Patrisse, okay, so you telling me what she said, and you telling me what she said.
I'm telling you what's in. I'm telling you what's in 5, 6, 7, 8 articles where she was quoted. She was quoted.
Why does it even matter? Why does it matter?
James, just hold on.
It really and truly doesn't matter. But when people start talking out of every opening and they make all of these claims in such a way that they're working for the community, doing all of these things for the community, just like you claim you are. All of these things, it does not gel.
You get that.
It
You get
doesn't
that.
gel. So,
Look,
based on the article, that she's in, and she quoted,
you're
and
not
she
even
was
in a
quoted.
position to critique.
I
Patrice
can
Cummings.
critique anybody that I want to critique. Who are you
you're
to
not.
tell me what I can't do?
No, you're not. You're
Yes,
not in a
I
position.
am.
No, you're not. She probably
I
wouldn't.
am.
She probably wouldn't even come on your show. I'm grateful.
Guess what? I wouldn't even ask her.
Knowing that you,
I
knowing
wouldn't
that
even
you would
ask her.
knowing that you would attack Black Lives Matter every time I've been on this
I
show.
wouldn't
This has been the
Guess what?
conversation.
Because
you
nothing
nobody
ever
Black
makes
Matter,
sense.
nobody
Because
has
nothing
asked
ever
you to
makes
join.
sense. It's
If you
amazing.
don't-
It's
if you
amazing
don't
that in
like Black
6
Lives
years,
Matter, nobody
in 6
has ever
years, we have
asked-
had one.
Okay,
we've
hold
had
on.
stellar people in 6 years. In 6 years, you really are the only person that I would never invite back. That's it. And that is all. And
You know what?
we can talk about
Okay.
Black Lives Matter
You know
and
what?
anything else.
You
It
know
never
what?
ends up like this.
You know what?
It never
You know what?
ends
Because
up
I'm not gonna
like
let you do
this.
it. Because
Because
I'm
you're
not
not
gonna
gonna
let
let
you
me do
do it
what?
because I see you.
You
I
don't
see
have any
you.
control.
I see you.
No, you
I
don't
see
see
you.
me.
I
No,
see
you don't. No, you
Okay,
don't.
you guys, you
No,
guys,
you
I see you,
don't.
man.
No, James, you don't. You
I
don't.
see
You
you.
really don't.
Yes, I do. I
don't.
see you.
No,
I
you
see
don't.
you. Yes, I do. I do. I see
No,
you.
you
I see you.
don't.
And the
I'm not going to
same,
go back and forth with you, but
you
no,
don't
you
have
don't.
to. You
I'm
don't
not-
have to. You don't have. You didn't invite me to the show this time.
And I wouldn't.
Okay.
And I know
good.
I didn't invite you this time. I know I didn't. But this is Corliss's show, as I told you before.
And I wouldn't.
So she can invite anybody that she wants to invite.
To
I
Corliss's
don't
show.
necessarily have to talk to him. I'm
So-
on the show because of Corliss.
So
Okay,
how did
so-
you? So how did you disinvite me to a show that you said is Corliss's?
It's my network. This is
Oh,
what
okay.
I own. This is
Oh,
mine.
so now, okay.
This is
So
mine.
you own the network. So this is why you think that you can press people the way that you do, but you can't press me because I don't care about your network. I don't care
You're
about
not supposed to, James.
I
You're
don't.
not supposed to.
You know,
I don't
you're
care
not
if you
gonna
do or
insult.
not.
You're not.
You're
I'm not going
I
to allow
don't
you.
care if you do.
I'm not going
or
to
not.
allow you.
Okay,
That's
okay,
not
thank-
the point.
I
Okay,
care.
That's
folks,
not the point.
folks,
I
folks,
have
not gonna allow
triple
you
A
to
guests on this show.
stop.
You're just not one of them.
Stop. Just stop. Hold on. Hold
I'll let you-
on.
I don't care if you was Oprah. I wouldn't let you do it.
Okay, listen. Colette,
If
You're,
Colette,
and you're Black Lives
James,
Matter. And you're
Colette
Black
and
Lives Matter.
James. Colette and
You're Black
James.
Lives Matter.
Colette and James. Again, we can agree to disagree. It's not about agreeing. It's
she just
about.
wants to.
it's
Corliss,
a-
she wants to slam and she wants to disparage
You
Black.
have not heard me slam
That's her
anything.
agenda.
You,
That's
if
her
you
agenda.
call
And
this a
so
slam,
do
if
that.
you call
But
this
do
a
that.
slam, you
do that
are in the
without being
wrong
in my
place.
presence.
If you call
Okay.
this a slam,
that.
you're in the wrong place.
Do that.
Okay,
do that.
stop. Again,
Just don't do
more-
that
it's
in my
more of a
presence. Because
disagreement.
anybody that
It is
slams
more of a
Black Lives Matter
disagreement.
This
in
is
my
not a
presence,
slam. You
I'm
haven't
saying
heard a
something.
slam yet. You have
I'm
not
saying
heard a
something.
slam.
Okay, you guys. It's
Anybody
not,
that
hello,
tries to
people.
slam somebody,
Hello, James. Colette. Stop. Just stop. We're going to agree to disagree. Okay? Some of the line of questioning has triggered one thing. Some things of other stuff has triggered the line of questioning. We're going to agree to disagree. The reason why I invited you to this show, because I know what you do. I know you're out there paving the streets. And that's why I wanted you to tell your story about what you're doing on the streets literally today, as our listeners are watching us on YouTube, and as we're watching you walk by with the bushes and the trees and walking back towards the protest. I wanted you to talk about what you're doing, and I appreciate what you're doing, and I understand, Colette, what you're trying to say. But the whole purpose was to hear what James was doing on over there on James Wood Drive. I think I saw a sign, and what's going on with what you're doing with Black Lives, the original Black Lives Matter coalition, chapter, section, however you want to call it. So we've made it clear that it's not that they don't go from city to city unless they are invited. Ferguson invited you, you went out, they want to partner. So perhaps there'll be a Ferguson, that you guys will partner up, no matter how.
No, they'll be their own They'll be there. We allow people to be their own organization. You don't ever have to join Black Lives Matter. The way you join Black Lives Matter is you come to 3 meetings and you can become a member of Black Lives Matter. But
here in Los Angeles, here in Los Angeles. Right.
And this is the reason that I get so upset by the way that I perceive this line of questioning, is because people think that putting these things out about these women, people think that that's harmless. They think that it's just people talking. Well, at our rally yesterday in front of the mayor's house, there was a woman who showed up with a gun. Now, it turns out that she had a right to have the gun, but she showed up with a gun. At our last rally, last Wednesday, there was a woman who literally who came there to jump Melina Abdullah. There was we have had, and as I have said before, all of this happens. All of this happens because people, who are uninformed, want to believe a narrative that is not true. Anybody that wants to know anything about Black Lives Matter, if you go to my Facebook page, you'll see the meetings are on Facebook. They're on Facebook. So anybody that wants to see what we do or see who we are, you have the opportunity to see, but people don't want to see that. They want to see what they see. And at the end of the day, it's a shame. It is an absolute shame because, again, we have the loved ones. Let me go get one of the parents of one of these people, and you repeat those things to her.
Well, so James, unfortunately, we only have unfortunately, as you're walking, we have about 2 minutes left in the show today.
Let me see if I can find one real quick.
No, we
don't really won't have time to be able to hear them because there's a show. There's a show that comes on after this, James. So what I'd like you to do, James. What I'd like you to do
my point is
give us some closing remarks about what's happening there on the streets and what's happening there on the streets and it just wrap up as far as because the show unfortunately.
Well, the reality is that when you are fighting for people who have lost their loved ones and the people that you're fighting for have the audacity to attack you and try to disparage you and to question what you're doing, when you're putting your life and your career, the reason Melina Abdullah is not the Dean of Ethnic Studies, as she should be, is because she's an organizer with Black Lives Matter. 100% graduation rate in Pan-African Studies. Established the College of Ethnic Studies, but yet she can't be the dean because of her role in Black Lives Matter. And then we have to listen to people be critical.
Right.
Now, I'm sorry. I don't mean to offend. I don't mean to attack, but I'm just tired of it because I'm looking at, am I going to wake up one day and something didn't happen to me or one of these other organizers for Black Lives Matter, and then the very folks who were critical don't have nothing but prayers and condolences.
Well, thank you very much, James.
Not understanding that they are contributing to it. That's my point.
Okay.
So God bless y'all. I appreciate you coming on the show. I love you.
I know.
You're going to get a lot of ratings because Black folks like to hear when Black folks is arguing. So you're going to get a lot of...
I thank you for coming today and thank you for being right there on the streets trying to get some kind of justice for any and all folks here in the Los Angeles County, Los Angeles area. I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for being on the show.
All right.